There we go. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome, Kari Krimko Inc. Welcome to chat. Stretch. Okay, so last time on Callahan's Crosstime Saloon, we were looking for our vampire friend Piotr. And unfortunately, what happened last time is the game crashed at some point. Right before we entered Casimir's bar during Curse Night, we just got our curse on and attempted to get in, and the game crashed. So that was unfortunate. But in the process, I hadn't saved for a while, so we lost a lot of progress. But since then, I've played through everything again, and I've gotten to the point where we crashed, and I can say that it doesn't seem to repeat. It seems to have been a one-off thing. So we shouldn't encounter that again, and if so, we can reload and try again, because we do have save data at that point now. So we will be able to continue our journey through this adventure game here. And we should be able to have a lot of fun with that. A lot of punny funny. A lot of punny funnies. So let's load up the game here.
I should tell you right now, I'm a hope I spend anyway.
So we're gonna skip the intro here.
Okay, 10 riddles. Everybody know the rules?
I'll lower my volume on my end. Shouldn't affect you guys. Here we go.
Excellent. When you is there a time? No.
Alright, now we can restore. When we last left you, you were slumming in the traffic circles of Transylvania. This is where all the trans people live. Transylvania. So we wanted to go into Casimir's place. A curiously familiar sign hangs on this curiously familiar building. It appears to be the local tavern. You know, the place where everyone knows you're numb. Sign says in curiously familiar handwriting, Casimir's. You walk up to the entrance, but the bouncer puts a hand out to stop you. Hello, Estrella. Thank you for the follow. I need to get my alerts on top of the game window. I might do that really quick. Hold up. I didn't realize the window was on top of it. Hold on. Oh, I can't do anything about that. Because the way Stream Elements works, I'm just gonna have to move the alerts. Okay, that's something I'll need to work on at some point, but in any case, thank you for the follow. We are in Casimir's bar. You pull open the split door and experience the most intense deja vu of your young life. You instantly feel as if you were in Callahan's on Halloween, with everybody in costume, and the only night when Mike turns the lights down low. Curiously, you can't remember if Callahan's is packed on Mondays, holidays, or if it's empty. Seems you remember it both ways. Besides the subdued lighting, the next most obvious difference is the smell, which is heavy and coppery. The aroma of fresh blood. Callahan smells more like sawdust and beer. But despite the smell and the intimidating crowd, the atmosphere is one of conviviality. You hear a lot of laughter and storytelling. You see a lot of belligerent-looking carnivores listening attentively to creatures who could easily constitute snack time instead. With the spirit of Callahan's place palpably present, you realize that this place's namesake, Casimir, may come from the same place as time as Mike. Might even be related. Hell, they could even be the same person, though you doubt Mike would send you here if he were making the trip himself. Alright, so what have we got in here? Got a homunculus out front. A well-dressed gentleman glares at you challengingly, but after you observe him for a few moments, you realize his face is frozen in that expression. Horror writers love to refer to this as rictus. Speaking of which, have you ever noticed that horror writers use some words repeatedly, words you otherwise never hear? When's the last time you heard the words freshet and rivulet, except when Stephen King talks about sudden blood loss? Or the word ichor, when the word pus would do just as nicely? Same thing with burbling, chuffing, shambling, railing, and the ever-popular eldritch. As if that weren't enough, they love to create two-word titles for their books, beginning with the and ending with an ing word, like The Reckoning, or The Summoning, or The Harrowing, or The Burbling. This editorial moment will not appear again. Thank you for your indulgence. Man, I remember when writers would just put everything they were thinking into these dialogues. There's the bartender, Casimir. The vampiress up top. A serene young lady sits at the bar, engaged in quiet conversation with a distinguished-looking man. Judging by her ashen skin and the occasional flash of her pretty white fangs, pretty white fangs, you'd guess she's a vampiress. The big cup of blood she's holding could also be considered an indication. You beg the lady's pardon, and she turns to give you a coquettish look. Her face is sweet, almost angelic. Her upper lip is thin and delicate. Her lower lip is full and pouty. Her eyes are wide, but anything but innocent. They betray a wisdom far beyond her apparent youth. The effect is one of industrial strength sensuality. No mere palpitation, these feelings. She's plunged a hand into your chest, grabbed your heart, and squeezed gently and pleasurably. Then she has the nerve to say, yes, and expect a coherent answer. You stammer helplessly for a moment, and in that moment realize that the lady didn't want to be interrupted. She has purposely and totally disarmed you with a single look. The yes was a wink, not a question. Blood. Sorry, you stammer. She smiles and turns back to the well-dressed man, who's been watching the scene with amusement. You step away and shake your head to clear the sudden tuft of cotton candy that momentarily replaced your brain. We can offer blood to her. In a gesture of goodwill, you offer your wrist to the vampiress. Yoder once explained that in polite Transylvanian society, a human will offer his wrist, or in more intimate circumstances, his neck, to a vampire, and the vampire may choose to drink or not. If the vampire chooses to drink, he or she must not draw enough blood to harm the human, or turn him undead. This supposedly constitutes an offer and anticipated acceptance of inviolable trust between the two. The vampire is not to take unfair advantage of the human's weak will and fragile life, and the human is not to open the vampire's coffin in direct sunlight or drive any large objects through its heart. The lady smiles at you, raises her glass to indicate that she has plenty for now. You bow your head as you draw your hand. She bows hers in return, and you leave her to her conversation. Vampire, he. The courtly gentleman is a spitting image of Martin Landau playing Bela Lugosi, playing Dracula. It's sort of like when you pretend to be Dana Carvey, pretending to be George Bush.
It's bad. It's bad. Wouldn't be prudent. Not gonna die.
Talk to. The vampire, assuming he is one, slowly looks at you and raises an eyebrow. Your mouth works up and down, but nothing comes out, and you realize he's reached into your head, taken all your thoughts, and scattered them everywhere. By the time you've collected them again, he's turned back to his seduction. You make the traditional gesture of offering your wrist to the vampire. He smiles at you, holds a hand up, and gives you a little nod. No. Perhaps he doesn't want to eat in front of the lady. These two dinosaurs are flirting heavily with one another. In fact, this one seems to have the other raptor round her little finger. That pun, that's horrible. You attempt to snake your way into the conversation, but these lizards are clearly enraptured with each other. Are you for real? Come on now. What about this one? A lizard in love is a beautiful thing. The lizard says, "Venomous in love as I am now, I can't be bothered." Alright. Who's this? A pale man with a serene smile is hung elaborately upside down, a tap stuck into his neck. Oh. Oh, he's upside down. I see now. I was wondering why it looked kind of weird there.
Is he dead?
Hardly. That's Dimitri. He's got kidney disease. So some of the regulars here siphon off his blood, filter it for him, and stick it back in him at the end of the night. We get all the flavor, he gets the benefits. And it's cheaper than dialysis. He's what we refer to as the local White Russian.
This reminds you of Piotr's symbiotic relationship with the regulars at Callahan's, in which he acts as designated driver. Once he's got the most inebriated of the bargoers driven home, he drinks their blood, enjoys the alcohol buzz. You've never quite understood why that hasn't turned everyone in Callahan's into a vampire, but Piotr says it's under his control. Yeah, that goes fast. Can't quite read all of it. The plump, green-fleshed guy behind the bar notices you looking at him.
Good evening, young man. Casimir Pajitnov, owner and operator.
He offers you his beefy right hand.
Long Island?
That's right.
Oh, next time you see Mike,
I skipped one.
Casimir sends his best, won't you?
I will.
Great. If I can do anything for you, just scream.
Yeah, let's talk to him.
Are you and Mike related?
Not in the way you probably mean it.
Is it too nosy to ask how you are related?
Well, ask Mike. He'll tell you what he wants you to know.
Yeah, you two are related, all right.
Wonder if there's more we can ask. Yeah, there's some things we can ask.
I'm looking for a guy named Piotr. Do you know him or where he is?
Piotr, where are you?
I'm right here.
Startled, you turn. Oh, he's here. You're not sure at first, but yes, that's Piotr. He looks listless, pale, and far less energetic than usual. In fact, you'd say he looks like death warmed over, but that would probably be a compliment.
Right here.
You've known Piotr for a long time, I take it.
Longer than I like to dwell on. I knew him back when he was knee-high to a knee, I guess.
What happened when he left Transylvania? What happened with the woman?
I hate to say, because I know you're trying to help him, but we have a sort of rule around here that you don't pry. You figure when someone wants to tell you, he'll tell you.
I'm not asking you to break any confidences.
And it's not like I'm invisible either, or maybe I am. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
See? I forgot everything I ever learned about being a magician. Or a ninja.
Sorry, Jake, but it doesn't matter. He'll tell you what he wants to tell you when he's ready. Till then, it won't matter. Can't help a guy who doesn't want to be helped.
You've always accepted this as the truth, but you also think back to Tommy Jansen. By the time he knew he needed help, he was too unconscious to ask for help. Fortunately, he got help without having to ask for it.
In his frame of mind, I'm worried it's going to be too late before he asks for help.
You're keeping an eye on him. That's all you need to do. Right here.
How long has Casimir's been here?
Next year will be 125 years in the same location. And most of the regulars are the same ones we started with.
You must have met some very famous people.
For a time, about 40, 50 years ago, when Hollywood discovered us, we had a lot of actors coming in, researching their roles. Used to have their pictures covering the walls. Right here.
Do you guys have theme nights?
Sure we do. Tonight's Curse Night.
So I discovered.
And whoever figures out the riddles on the blackboard gets cursed extra loudly by everybody else in the bar.
Oh yeah, I know how that...
We haven't started the riddles yet, though, and then on Mondays, there's the wet t-shirt contest night.
Some of these guys must look pretty ghastly in wet t-shirts.
Well, for dog's sake, we don't wear the t-shirts. Everybody brings in their favorite t-shirt. We dunk them in the sink, lay them out on the bar, and whichever one looks the best when it's wet wins. Is there some other way to do it?
Nah.
Nah. Yeah, this game is just chock full of puns and wordplay. It's a lot, but it's also weirdly relaxing. Okay, so we finally found Piotr, so let's talk to him. Piotr, his back turned to the world, stares into his drink. A depressed vampire is a pretty pitiful sight.
Well, 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 it's the man who wears the star.
You assume he's talking about your pentagram.
The big, bright Texaco star.
What's he getting at?
Can I trust my car to you? Or don't you do brakes?
It lands like a blow to the groin with a spiked tennis racket. Having a drunk friend say something that sucks you in the gut is no surprise. Alcohol and despondence make a great glass cleaner for the window into the soul. Especially for the basement windows.
If you're here to pay your last respects, I'm already dead.
Piotr, dear Piotr, come home with me now.
No.
God damn you, Piotr, I'll see you in hell.
Last one in's a rotten egg.
You're being very childish.
I know you are, but what am I?
I come all the way from America to see you, and what do I get? Smart mouth comments.
You know, Jake, you're such an old gypsy woman sometimes. I'm going to drink till sunup, and then you know what's going to happen?
You'll shrivel like a prune until you're a corpse.
Yeah,
No. Again.
guy's got buckets of sass.
You'll turn into a man-shaped pile of dust.
Nope. Guess again.
You'll fade away until you vanish completely.
Nope.
I give up.
I'm going to turn into a pile of dust in the shape of a man.
Didn't I guess that?
Nope. So I appreciate your following me here, but my maid is bined up. Now, let me drink in peace.
The dialogue text didn't catch his drunken switcheroo they.
Oh, my
Come on, we're going home.
home where?
Let's start with the castle.
Home to your castle.
I don't belong here. I don't belong anywhere.
Home to Long Island.
Home is where the heart is, right? Well, I did not leave my heart on Long Island.
Okay, where is it?
It's gone. My heart was ripped out a long time ago.
You built a life for yourself on Long Island. You made a lot of friends, good friends. You became important to a lot of people. You didn't have a heart then?
I was running on fumes.
Any home you want.
I want rest. I've earned a rest.
Oh.
Oh, my...
What's the problem, Fyodor? What's the real problem?
You must be lonely, Jake. What if you felt that lonely for your whole life? I've lived my life as a lonely adult man for longer than you've been alive.
But it doesn't have to be that way.
Well, maybe you can replace Barbara, but I can't replace Sasha.
Oh. This is about a woman, isn't it?
Oh, my...
Who's Sasha?
We used to sit in here and play as slime goes
As slime goes by.
When she smiled, I could feel it in here.
He taps his chest.
The last time I saw her, I don't know how many years ago it was, she had made a decision. There was a teacher of hers, and he gave her something I guess I didn't have. Anyway, I've never heard from her again, so I guess she was happy with him. Is happy with him, for all I know. Oh, my...
If you don't cooperate, I'm going to use reverse psychology on you.
So go ahead. Use reverse psychology on me. See if I care. Go ahead. I want you to.
If he's that anxious for me to use it on him, he must not be susceptible to it. Darn.
Alright, I think that's everything.
Right here.
You've known Fyodor for a long...
Longer than I like to dwell on. I knew him back when he was knee-high to,
Ah, here we go.
What happened when he left Transylvania? What happened with the woman?
I hate to say, because I know you're trying to help him, but, we have a sort of rule around here that, you know...
I'm not asking you to...
And it's not like I'm invisible.
Yes, I can...
See?
Sorry, Jake, but
In his frame of mind, I'm worried it's going to...
you're keeping an eye...
Okay, there were some other options here.
You've known...
Longer...
What happened to the rest of his family?
I didn't know the rest of Fyodor's family. They didn't come in much. Fyodor never really said much about him. I don't think he approved of their line of business.
What can I do to help him?
I think you're on the right track.
He doesn't usually drink like this.
See if you can get him to go for a walk with you. Maybe clear his head a little. I'm not sure his being here is helping him.
Okay.
Oh, my...
Come on.
Home.
Any home...
I want...
No. Okay, maybe there's something else in here that'll help. The griffin. Perched on the bar, downing a sweet-looking ultraviolet concoction, is a griffin. Okay, so the eagle head looks like it belongs to a punked-out hyena, and the lion looks more like the Cupid from hell, but it's griffin-like in the sense that, up until a few minutes ago, you wouldn't have believed it existed. Beast. The slightly fish-faced, sloop-jawed beast is holding forth on how his ancestors ate the Mayflower. You start to say something to the beast, but Doc's words ring in your memory. Never interrupt somebody whose mouth is bigger than your head. That's good advice. There's a golem here. The gentleman appears to be made out of Play-Doh and popsicle sticks. You ask the golem how come he doesn't dry out, but when he tries to speak, he only manages to extrude clay from his mouth. It drops onto his into his zombie, and he slowly drinks it down. And some mutants. Green creatures cluster nervously around the skirts of a woman who's either a witch or just wants to look like one. Little munchkin love children, startled by your bizarrely human appearance, tremble at the sound of your voice. The witch tries to soothe them with gentle words and asks you not to stress them out. Take the mutants. You don't need any more mutants. You and Barbara had an AFS student from California stay with you 1 year. Although when you think about it, since no two of us are exactly alike, we're all mutants. You're a mutant, he's a mutant, she's a mutant. That's a way to look at it. Wouldn't you like to be a mutant too? You can tell by her outfit that this witch is orthodox. Reformed witches look more like Samantha Stevens. You compliment the witch on her good-looking brood. She explains that they're adopted. Apparently, Yoda swept through Munchkin Land 1 week, and they made the mistake of letting him crash with the Lullaby League. 9 months later, poof. Who's this? Demoness. A demoness shambles slowly around the bar. You sincerely hope those are fashion contacts. She just keeps hitting you up for Visine. Invisible Man. Right, look at the Invisible Man. You really think we're going to fall for that one? For some reason, you just can't see yourself trying to talk to an invisible man. It's a werewolf. An authentic and somewhat ratty-looking werewolf sits at the table and watches a solitaire game. Occasionally, he pulls off his flea collar and attempts to sniff it deeply, but they just don't give him the same kick that they used to. You're too nervous to talk to the werewolf. You're afraid that he'll put your foot in his mouth. Rendell. A surly dwarf sits and patiently listens to his friends, the mouse, pontificate. He probably wishes he had some mace. You attempt to strike up a conversation with Brendel, but his mind is elsewhere. Literally. Cards. You weren't previously aware that there's a version of Idiot's Delight Solitaire that can be played with a tarot deck. This is a haunted deck. You can only play with it once you've spent a whole night in the card case. Judging by the Repo Man's hand, he's either going to lose the game unless the next card is a 12 of Cups, or he's going to meet a short, cute stranger who's going to take him on a long trip. Now, you see, you should have bought yourself one of these monkey skull candlesticks while they were still on sale at Pier 1. You begin to take the candle when you notice a small label on it. The label reads, Dr. Robert's Liposuction Clinic. You believe you'll stick with beeswax? Oh no. Grim Repo Man. This Grim Repo Man is taking a break from repossessing souls to play a little solitaire. You begin to converse with the Grim Repo Man. He stops fiddling with his cards, looks up at you, and smiles. Although the smile is genuine, the overall effect chills you down to the marrow. You've got a ways to go before you can always look past the surface. Play with.
Hey, want to deal me in?
The Grim Repo Man smiles icily at you and asks you how many souls you've got. When you tell him you only have one, he chuckles and says the house minimum is 100. Big Mouse. The big mouse in the verdant overcoat is regaling his dwarven friend with poetry about capital punishment. You can tell by his eloquent manner of speaking that he's a rodent scholar. It would be rude to interrupt his tale. Oh, there's a little pig. This is the Vietnamese pot-bellied pig that belongs to the celebrity chilling out by the fire. The pig seems perfectly content to carry a hot oil lamp around its back, but the aroma of sizzling bacon is making your mouth water. The pig smiles and oinks and goes back to snuffling around the floor for food. The pig stealing riddle was going to earn us a slap on the wrist from the computer games rating board, so we've removed it. Extinguish the pig. Right now, the room can use all the light it can get, but would the last one out of the bar please turn off the pig? Got fire there. The cheerful blaze cuts the gloom and hands it out in equal pieces all over the bar. This is one of those trick fires that keeps relighting no matter how hard you try to put it out. Oh, there's a jukebox here. A silent, unlit jukebox sits in a small table near the fireplace.
That thing doesn't work. I guess I should get rid of it. It's been broken for a while now.
How long?
30, 40 years.
Hey.
If you want to try and fix it, go ahead. Just don't take it out of the bar. I can sell it to one of the doctors around here for spare parts.
Okay, so we got the jukebox. You start pushing buttons, but nothing happens.
Don't play B-17. That was our song.
I'm gonna play B-17.
Piotr, it's been over 50 years. When are you going to forget about her? What'd you come back here for?
I'm asking the questions around here. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. We're probably gonna have to do something with that. Probably play that song. What was it called? As Slime Goes By. Oh, hey, these guys. A Fugado sits drinking with his buddies. Fugado is an ancient term meaning creature of accident in costume departments. Hey, bud, how's it hanging?
Me, Jake. You know kill I. Okay?
Sure, man, no problem. Chill. Chet. An immense ogre is trolling for single ghouls. You approach the ogre to talk with him, but his overpowering body odor repels you.
Game ogre, man. Game ogre.
Game ogre. A mummy. After centuries, the mummy's linens are filthy and ragged, but originally he was wrapped with attention.
Excuse me, but you got some toilet paper stuck to your foot.
The mummy, displaying a degree of wisdom that can only come of centuries of knowledge, ignores you entirely. Unwrap the mummy. Don't unwrap him here. Wait till we get home. Hag. Look at the hag. A stooped, crabbed old hag keeps going to the payphone to check for change. In response to your overtures, the hag merely mumbles something about things not being like they were in the old country.
Hey, I thought this was the old country.
No, the old country can be any country, just so long as you're talking about how good it used to be compared to how you're living now.
So I could be talking about the old country and really be referring to the United States before its first senile president?
Exactly.
Excellent. Man, I love having a narrator.
An elf. An elf, appearing somewhat overwhelmed, stands in the center of the room. You ask the elf if he needs any help, but the elf declines. So much for God helps those who helps them elves. A mirror. You see the Fagato in the mirror. He looks in the mirror and sees you looking at his reflection. It's a very embarrassing moment, and you both look away quickly. Can I break it? After several bad experiences with one of the local counts and a tall guy with bolts in his neck, Casimir had to put in unbreakable mirrors. There's a Melanie here. A rather prim and dainty lady is sitting demurely at the end of the bar, looking quite out of place. Hesitantly, not wanting to interrupt the large fellow speaking to her, you introduce yourself to the lady. She offers her hand, which you shake, and she introduces herself as well. Trouble is, you didn't quite get the name straight. You know the first name began with an L, and her last name was either Borden or Borgia. You're a dumbwaiter. A dumbwaiter, just like Callahan's dumbwaiter, is built into the wall. You can't take the dumbwaiter. I don't know what to do with that quite yet. Might use it for something. Don't know yet. There's a Boris. Part walrus, part anglerfish, part Hugh Hefner. This thick-skinned, pug-nosed Portia is using his phosphorescent nodule to attract the dainty-looking lady to his right. He's speaking in adenoidal snuffles and guttural gargles, rendering his language incomprehensible to you. Yet the lady is nodding her head as if in complete understanding. Maybe you need more wax in your ears. Okay, I think I looked at pretty much everything here. So now we just have to figure out what to do. What have I gotten in this bar I could, like, put on the dumbwaiter? I got the jukebox. That actually works. You place the jukebox in the dumbwaiter and send it up. Up and up it goes to the churning storm clouds overhead. Wait, what the fuck? If I didn't just randomly try that, how was I supposed to know that? That is so adventure game logic. Slowly, the jukebox descends from the roof.
It's alive! Alive!
Good Lord.
Spaffon.
You haul it out of the dumbwaiter and dust some of the char off it. Sure enough, it seems to be working. It's lit and you can hear whirs and clicks inside. Inwardly, you feel some guilt. After all, maybe man shouldn't be playing repairman with the primal forces of nature, fixing things he doesn't understand, and deigning to say which appliances live and which ones die. Brave little toaster. But what the hell, it's just a jukebox. Okay. As you go to push the button, you're zapped with a bit of stray electricity. Better put this thing down before you start playing songs. Okay, let's put it where it was then. Yeah, the stand is right there. Put the jukebox on the jukebox stand. There we go. Trying to lift with your knees, you hoist the jukebox up and tip it onto its stand. All right. We got some songs here. Let's select the one that he was talking about. What was it? B17, As Slime Goes By. That's it. With a brief hum and a series of clicks, the jukebox begins to play B17, As Slime Goes By. The moment As Slime Goes By starts to play, Piotr stumbles off of his chair.
Didn't I say not to play that?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
You put your arm around him, but he shrugs it
I
off.
can walk myself.
You steer Piotr out of the bar. You steer Piotr out of the crowded bar and onto the
I
street.
feel sick.
Do you have to throw up?
I don't know. My head hurts.
Let's get you home.
Piotr pulls his arm away from you, bringing you to the realization that you've been gripping him tightly for the past minute.
I don't want to go home. I'm not ready to go home.
Okay, want to see if we can sober you up?
He pauses for a moment and closes his eyes. A pained scowl crosses his face. You beat the pained scowl off and it flies off into the night, hooting angrily. Okay, let's see. We've talked to these random people here. We got Piotr with us.
What? Stop shouting.
I'm not shouting.
We have very sensitive ears and I'm getting a hangnail.
You mean a hangover?
What? Stop shouting.
You doing okay?
Who would have thought a guy without a heartbeat could have such a pounding headache? I need some aspirin, or caffeine, or both.
Caffeine. There is an awful coffee shop around here.
What? Stop shouting.
We should talk about why you're feeling this way.
Oh God. I don't want to talk. I don't want to share. I don't want to communicate. I don't want to rap. I don't want to.
Okay, all right, I get the picture.
Shh. 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 What?
You gonna show me around Transylvania?
Maybe. Later. Let's just go someplace where I can sit down and be sick in peace and quiet.
Okay. So we wanted some caffeine, and we know where we can get some. It's awful stuff, but he probably won't care. You steer your swaying friend into Star Bucharest's.
What?
My friend's had a little too much to drink. What do you recommend?
The clerk looks at you, then at Piotr, and begins to assemble a drink. She dumps orange juice into a metal drink maker cup and follows it with Worcestershire sauce and a raw egg. Watching this is hard enough, but you have to look away when she drops in a scoop of dozens of small things that cling desperately to the scoop and make high-pitched whining noises. Oh no. A couple of small shrieks later, she starts up the old drink master and blends the cocktail. She hands it to you, and you hand a few Bonnie over to her. You, in turn, hand the foul-smelling beverage to Piotr, who looks at it in horror.
I can't.
He pushes it away, obviously not yet prepared to pour anything on top of what's already in his gut.
I can't drink that. The room is spinning.
I think that's just the interface.
Fourth wall broken. You take the noxious curative back to the lady at the counter.
I'll put it in the fridge. If he changes his mind, let me know.
Okay. Hmm. So you were kind of weird about possibly knowing Piotr, so I'm gonna talk to you.
Yeah, Piotr?
Oh, here we go. Piotr groggily takes a look at the woman sitting at the table. He squints at her, looks away, squints at her again. He takes a third look before his eyes get huge. Actually, his eyes stay the same size, but because he's looking particularly emaciated, they really appear to take up more than his face than usual.
Sasha?
How are you?
Same as ever.
I think I'll just step outside for a while.
Stay here, Jake. We just sat down. This is the woman I never told you about.
You must have.
I would have married this woman. Ziv and I both wanted to.
Piotr.
When she met me to tell me she'd picked Ziv, she had lines on her face.
I don't...
Lines from the bedclothes. From lying on the sheets with him.
I don't believe this.
She put her arms around me and called me sweetheart. But she smelled like him.
I'm just going...
You're drunk, you're being...
Hello, Rose.
And you're
This is
embarrassing everybody. I think you should leave.
Let her
The least
finish.
I think you could do is leave me alone.
Come on, Piotr, let's get out of here. I'm sorry, this was my mistake.
What the hell happened to you? You know?
Come on.
Encountering only slight resistance, you manage to leave Piotr at the door. Handling him is like handling a huge floppy marionette. It's his alcohol-oiled joints. You sit him down in the convenient barrel and manage to prop him up after some balancing. You head back into Star Bucharest, offer a quick apology to Sasha, leave with a cup of cafe au lait. In this, you proceed to pour down Piotr's throat, much to his dismay, but the caffeine and capsicum do their trick, and within 15 minutes, Piotr is looking and sounding noticeably better.
Is she still there?
I think so. But I wouldn't try to talk with her again just now.
Jake, I swear she's nothing like the woman I left here. I mean, completely different. She looked different, too.
Very severe.
I'll tell you something, she didn't used to have that Cindy Crawford thing going on with that mole on her face. We don't get cancer, otherwise I'd be worried.
What do you get?
Too much iron sometimes, a little vitamin A overdose.
Could it be a curse mark?
I know where her curse mark used to be.
That wasn't it?
No.
Interesting. The two of you lurch out into the creme demented. Okay, so this is Callahan's Crosstime Saloon. It's an adventure game. And our current task is we gotta help our friend Piotr out, who left the bar and moved to Transylvania without telling anybody. To his old home, and basically the goal is to get him back because he's all like depressed and he needs his friends to help him out. The gypsy's wagon is here. I don't like that they are using that word, but that's like a sign of the times, I guess. Like, everybody just assumed it was a descriptive word and not a slur, but it's always been a slur.
It's just one more way I make it easy to shop the old gypsy woman way.
Okay, so
Hello, Mr. Werewolf.
yeah, she's supposedly Romani, but the bit is that she talks like a Jewish mother.
What if I knew somebody that knew somebody that might be under a curse of some sort? How would I tell this person's person how to tell what kind of curse it was?
I'm very sorry. You're gonna have to do better than that.
If I think somebody might be under a curse, how could I tell?
Oh, I don't know if that's something you could tell, honey. I could probably tell if I could see exactly what the mark looked like. But I guess you'd have to get your friend's person here.
Okay. Yeah, pretty weird. It comes from like, there's this weird kind of humor where you attempt to sort of disarm racism by associating it with different racism that doesn't really work. The voodoo lady that in the voodoo lady from Monkey Island.
What do you want to do about Sasha?
The Stepford.
I see.
Well, we know there's some kind of spell on her.
It's a curse. It's not a spell.
Hey, I'm sorry. I don't know all the monster jargon, okay?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's just I'm coming up to speed as fast as I can, you know?
I know. I mean, I'm really sorry. I took some cheap shots at you in the bar, didn't I?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, God. I don't remember what I said, but I'm sorry.
Would you stop apologizing?
Sorry.
Get a little drinky. Okay. We need to like convince her to go to the gypsy, the Romani lady. I'm sorry. I don't want to use the slurs that this game is using, but I keep doing it just because I keep reading the word. Okay. Maybe, I very much doubt we'll just be able to get her to come with us there, but we might be able to get like a hint about what to do.
No offense to you, Mr. Stonebender. You've been nothing but gracious. But please leave me in peace.
Voodoo Lady was originally voiced by a native Hawaiian actress. Huh. That is interesting. Sasha then turns to Piotr.
Sasha,
I don't want to talk to you right now. Maybe sometime when you're fit to talk too.
I'm sober now.
She turns away from Piotr. Okay, Well, the curse is like that birthmark, right? And we had the option to kiss her. I saw... Wait, that can't be it. I saw wax lips in the shop. I'm wondering if the adventure game logic here is going to be to use those. Peter looks at you glumly and rolls his eyes as he follows you into the 5 and dime. Yeah, I saw wax lips here. Here they are. Let's buy one.
I'll sell you those, but I'll have to see your ID.
You show the clerk your driver's license. Fortunately, the reciprocity laws work so that this Romanian reads English just as easily as... Well, couldn't read that in time, but we got wax lips. Okay, let's try to do a kissy now. Maybe we can get an imprint. You put the wax lips in your mouth and clamp down on them. You feel like you ought to be carrying a sign that says, "Help, I have no class." Just like in the alien spaceship thing when we were disguising as the Splorch or whatever his name was. What you put on shows in his portrait. That's like a great little detail. Oh yeah, never been voiced by an actual black or African woman. That is unfortunate. Sort of happens a lot in casting though, doesn't it? Like, people who are hiring for voice acting stuff typically go one of two routes. They either go for the cheapest option or they go for star power. And everybody else kind of gets left in the dust. There's exceptions, but there are exceptions that kind of prove the rule. So let's kiss. You press your Hollywood starlet lips to her temple. She turns and looks at you with curiosity and faint annoyance. Some women don't know how to accept an unwanted and bizarre compliment. Okay, did that give us an imprint here? No. The fake lips are exaggeratedly full and hypersexual. Okay. Maybe I need to make them hot. Like, I think maybe if they're hot, they're pliable. This is a coffee shop. Maybe there's some coffee we can get for that.
Excuse me, but could you tell me what's in Florescu?
It's chock full of nuts.
The coffee or the town?
Yes.
Molten lava mocha java. That
What's
sounds like
the
what we want.
molten lava mocha java?
Habanero flavored espresso brewed at 500 degrees. And of course, I'm now obligated by my insurance company to warn you that the coffee is served very hot.
Yeah, that sounds like what we need to melt wax. So I need to all examine these, but I think we're gonna try to get that.
Yeah.
I want to trace somebody's mole. Tracing paper?
The wax lips show up in these portraits too.
The stupidest question I've gotten in years. Here, you win.
She reaches under the counter and produces a wedge of cheese, encased in a wrinkled rind and thickly carpeted with turquoise and gray fur.
What's this?
The cake.
Hmm. Oh, we can just buy it here. Puts on some asbestos gloves and hands you the 500-degree cup of
Careful
coffee.
with that. It might be a tad warm.
Let's not spill that on our lap, huh? Okay. Let's take those off. You dip the wax lips in the hot coffee. Immediately, you can feel the wax soften. Hey, Bryn Holden, how are you doing? Hey, Darth Nightwing Phoenix, welcome. So we got hot wax lips now. Maybe now it'll work. Let's try this again. You stand and press your big, full, hot lips to Sasha's temple. She is still and unyielding, and her skin is as cold after you kiss it as it was before. She gives you a look of cool disapproval. Although she remains silent, her message is clear. Your actions were inappropriate, no matter how charming the sentiment might have been. You remove the lips from your mouth to speak.
I apologize. It's a custom in my country.
She purses her lips and gives you a look of exasperation at the strange country you must be from. Sasha gathers her newspaper and rubs the spot on her forehead around her curse mark where you press the hot lips to her skin. She icily suggests that you both sober up, and that said turns on her heel and walks out. There she goes. I'm pretty sure he comes from the same place that the saloon, the titular Callahan's Crosstime Saloon is, so that would be Long Island, New York. Okay, so we got the imprint here. A small clover-shaped impression has been made in the softened wax of the fake lips. Okay, we can show this to the lady. The wax lips cool off and reharden. However, a perfect impression of Sasha's curse mark remains behind. You hand the lips to the gypsy and she eyes them.
This is an impression of a curse mark.
Yep.
It's not very good.
What do you mean? It's great. It's precision.
I don't like it.
She pulls out a jeweler's loupe and peers at it intently. Then she swings around and grabs a ledger off the shelf behind her. Setting it on the sill, she opens it up and runs her fingers down it.
Clouds, cloven hooves. Oh, here we go. Clovers.
Clovers.
121, 232.
She flips a few more pages.
What, the curse mark? No.
All right, don't get huffy. Let's see. 121, Mrs. Murchison. Oh, I gave Mrs. Murchison a clover. Imagine that. Is this from Mrs. Murchison?
You look at Piotr, who shakes his head no.
Well, I only have an 11. Let me look. This is old. Is this Sasha? I can't read the name.
That's the one.
She examines the entry next to the name.
Oh, this is a wonderful case. Oh, this is a good. You'll never get this one off. This is a case that drains the casey of the ability to experience emotion. No love, no hate, no happy, no sad, no joy, no pain, no nothing.
How do we counteract it?
This is what makes it such genius. To cure the case, you make an anti-caselant. You need tanner leaves, you need, this is going to bother me until I can think of it.
It's important.
Rather.
Just a minute. Tanner leaves and is it... No... Mako root. Mako root. Yeah, that's it.
And those are hard to get.
Make a root what?
No, the hard part is, the third thing you need is the tears of the casey. And that's the thing. How do you get tears from somebody who can't cry?
You can't.
Pepper spray.
Exactly. I'm so proud of it. It's one of mine, this case. Original with me.
Do we, like, chop an onion?
I suppose. I don't know. Maybe even then they can't cry. I never actually made the anti-caselant before. That I remember. So, get me some tanner leaves, some Mako root, some tears, and we're...
All right, we got our
Have any
MacGuffins.
of those things?
Listen to you. If you had to deal with the people I have to deal with to get tanner leaves and Mako root, you wouldn't be such a schmagegi.
Okay. The Romani adds offhandedly that the curse was actually ordered by Sasha's new husband and applied by him while she slept. You can practically hear Piotr's blood, what there is of it, begin to boil. That's not good. Do not curse someone without their consent. Alright. So...
Feeling any better?
My head doesn't hurt as much, if that's what you mean.
Oh, Romney? Like that? Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not very knowledgeable about this stuff. Romney. Okay, I got it. Thank you. The Java is cooled off slightly.
What do you want to do about Sasha?
The Stepford wife.
We just have to get all the components together.
Yep.
About the curse.
Jake, we can talk about that later.
Oh, right, I'm cool.
And you're a mean mother.
Shut your mouth.
I'm just talking about Shaft.
Oh, God. There's just a random Shaft reference in there. Just because. Just because we can. Okay. So Tana leaves. Tana leaves is the first one. That sounds like something you'd make tea with. Maybe Star Boucherous has something like that. That's coffee.
What's Orient?
Chinese coffee beans brewed as espresso and...
I've never seen that.
You've never...
Alright, so that's all coffee. The tea up here, yeah, there it is. Bulk teas and glass jars line the shelves behind the counter. You notice some interesting flavors. Red Stinger with real dried scorpion tail. Early Grave. Eternal Sleepy Time. And Camo Mealworm. There's a small hand-lettered sign taped to the shelf that reads, "We only serve locally grown Tana-free teas." Oh, dang. It's literally saying, nope, you won't find this item here. Yeah. I like this game's humor generally, but in some places it is extremely dated. And I think this specific mission we're on has been one of the worst about that so far. Werewolves. Maybe Werewolf says tea. We know that Tana is in tea because other tea, the tea in the other place said like, Tana free. Yeah, front here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Teas. Available here is a delightful selection of herbal teas with medicinal effects. Among them are sumac, great as a sore throat soother, So Long Black Kids Comfrey Blend, Farewell Elephantitis with fenugreek, and Tana Leaf, a common old-time remedy for black hairy tongue. You grab a sack of Tana Leaf tea, the tea that made Sri Lanka recognized for its tea exports.
That'll be all the fingers on your left hand.
Pardon me?
Oh, did I say all the fingers on your left hand? I meant 22 Bonnie.
You carefully push 22 Bonnie across the counter and pull your hand back quickly before the clerk can have it all. Yeah, we got our box of tea. It's a box of Tana tea from Tana, a division of Tana, Tana, Babana, Bana, Vana, Fifana, Me, Momi, and Tana. You open the box and pull out a single tea bag, which you assume will do the trick. Obligingly, you give the rest of the box to the clerk, who says he can shrink wrap it and put it on the shelf, like they do with the software. Okay. Tea bag. Scrawny little Tana Leaf tea bag, redolent with the familiar sweet, sour, bitty, salty, pungent, musty taste of Tana. Okay. Oh, we can open that. And we get ton of leaves. Nice. That's the first ingredient gotten. What was the second again? Something root. It's probably in the... Miko root, I think it was. Okay, so we're looking for that now. I don't know. If it's a root, maybe it's in like alcoholic things. You can find it in here somewhere. You open the door and step into the local probability nexus. You instantly spot the addition of a familiar-looking blackboard. There are some riddles written on it, and all the conversation has turned to solving them. You didn't realize Riddle Night was an international tradition. Huh. Hey, wait a minute. I just saw a Mako root. Washing around in the bottom of the bottle is a bulbous greenish-purple tuber, undoubtedly the Mako root. Wow, how would I... I'm glad that coming into this room put me exactly in this position, because I probably would not have found this otherwise. So let's take that. You can't take the root. It's in the bottle, which is in the Fugato's gigantic claw. Spill it, bro.
You give Jake bottle, yes?
Hey, the schnapps are on us if you can help us win the contest. Ooh, okay, we got another contest here. Large chalkboard, not unlike Callahan's, which is a clumsy way of saying it's like Callahan's, stands in front of the fireplace. There are 10 clues listed on the chalkboard. Chime, moisturizing plant, snug. Yard, link steel, leg joint, younger. Permeable, famous marks, spoiled. Rain, bid, wind shelter. Scorch, Chicago trains, legal code, massive weight. Otherwise, one lean, aromatic organic compound. Moss, shiv, fluffiness, drawing fluid. Urinated, member of British nobility, white with age. $5 bill, colloquial, penny cost. Touched in the head, manta. This is extra fine chalkboard repellent chalk. Oh, Oh.
Me have riddle answer for Fugato, me think.
Here we go. So we've got another one of these to do. Chime moisturizing plant. Snug. So Bell. Bell something cozy. Bell. Oh god, these are all like actors in monster movies, aren't they? Because I immediately something comes to mind. Yeah, there we go. Yard, linked steel, leg joint, younger. Linked steel, chain, leg joint, knee, chain, knee, yard, lawn, chain, younger, junior. I got it. Yeah, there we go. Impermeable, famous marks spoiled. Carl spoiled. Carl rotten. Carl. Wait, it couldn't be. Yeah, there we go. This one feels like it's easier than the one that was at the start of the game. Rain, bid, wind shelter. Rain. Rice. Bid. Let's move on quick. Scorch, Chicago trains, legal code, massive weight. Scorch, char. Legal code. Law. Char, law. Massive weight, ton. Lawton. Oh. Charles Lawton. Otherwise, one lean aromatic organic compound. Otherwise, or no, that can't be it. Or one. Lean. Aromatic organic compound. Let's skip that one for now. Come back to it. Moss shiv. Fluffiness drawing fluid. We'll skip that too. Come back to it. Urinated member of British nobility, white with age. Urinated, peed. Gotta be peed. Member of British nobility. White with age. E something. Eed something. Hissed, maybe. $5 bill, colloquial. Penny cost. Penny is 1 cent. Cent, maybe? Cost, value, priced. Cent, price. Vincent Price, it's gotta be that. Touched in the head. Manta. Well, there's a manta ray. Maybe it's them. A-ray? Yeah, that's it. We just got 4 of these left. Rain, bid, wind shelter. Otherwise, one lean aromatic organic compound. Else, maybe? Else one, remember, and also, what was their last name? land something, I think. Manchester, maybe? Yeah, that's right. I knew it was on a something. Let's see. Moss, shiv, fluffiness, drawing fluid. Let's see. Moss, shiv, knife. Shiv, knife. I don't know any other synonyms for shiv, but I can't think of somebody's name that had knife in it that was like a monster movie star. Member of British nobility. Lord? He Lord? Hist Lord? I don't think there's a Lord that's in monster movies, but I remember a lore. I think Peter lore? Let's try it. Hey, that works. Just got these two left. Grain bid wind shelter. Grain bid wind shelter. The shelter for wind called. Moss, shiv, fluffiness, drawing fluid. Fluffiness. Yeah, this is hard. The one at the start was a little harder, but this is still pretty hard. I think mostly the first one really clicked and I got it easily, so I managed to assume the theme from there, and then I'm just like thinking about the monster movie stars that I am aware of. So I got this far from it. So what I'm assuming is that there's got to be a Christopher Lee in here somewhere, but I can't imagine which answer that would be for. Rain bid wind shelter. Why don't I just try it on these different things? Huh. I would not have guessed that. So that's one way to do it. Okay, I just got one left here. Moss, shiv, fluffiness, drawing fluid. Drawing fluid. Yeah, I know, right? I just assumed one of these has to be Christopher Lee. They would not have monster movie stars without Christopher Lee. So I just put Christopher Lee in both of the remaining answers, and apparently one of them was it. Yeah, what other monster movie stars do I know? Wait, Moss. I'm starting to remember you can also call Moss like Pate or Pete, something like that. So I think we're working with a Peter here, but what other Peters are there? What other Peters are in monster movies? Ooh. Gotta be this, right? I don't know how you get that from the words, but there we go. Somehow we managed to get him. The Fugado waddles over to the bar and growls softly at Casimir.
That is correct. We have a winner.
The crowd goes mildly up for grabs as the Fugado do a dance of glee. Promise is a promise. Lead Fugado throws a bottle of schnapps in the fireplace, then walks over and retrieves the Mako root. He shakes the ashes and broken glass from the root and drops it into your waiting hands.
Thank you.
Come on back next week, will you?
He's just talking normally.
For a change. Or at least, sort of honestly.
What? This is the first time you've spoken to me like a normal human being.
Yeah, well, you started it. Till you started getting these riddles right. Oh, we thought you were a moron.
Alright, so we had the root. What else did we need? Maybe if we go back to the woman, we can get a third thing again, because it's been a while and I don't remember what it is. Where's the door out here? Yeah, where is that door out? It'll be around here somewhere. You climb the ladder and attempt to exit to the roof, but from the sound of things, some large creatures are partying up there and someone's sitting on the hatch. That's fine, the action's all in here anyways. Okay, but how do I leave? Gotten far, so while I'm thinking about it, let's override our save. Like, seriously, where's the door? I can't see it anywhere.
Feeling any better?
My
Yeah, I don't even know monster movies that well, but for some reason I kind of know what the actors' names are. It's sort of in my head for some reason. Couldn't tell you why. Okay, but how do I get out? Let me out. Like, seriously, where is it?
Good luck. As soon as everyone...
Get me out. Like, seriously, I have never had to pixel hunt for an exit before. This is ridiculous. Hold up, I think I found it. I just saw the cursor change. There we go. This is tiny. How am I supposed to find this? Oh, there we go. Let's talk to this lady again.
Oh, it's you. Listen, I'm beginning to think you're maybe not such a werewolf after all.
Why not?
Well, turn around. Let me look at you.
I'm tired of turning around. I came here to get away from this.
Well, what? You don't get any more or less hairy than this? You just stay at this in-between level?
This is not my in-between level.
Fine, fine, you're right. Oh, it's you.
Do you have the address for Sasha?
Oh, I can't give that out anymore. We used to be able to. Then the whole Nancy Reagan thing.
Nancy Reagan thing.
Confidential and psychic client privilege and the whole schmear. Oh, it's you.
I have some of the anti-curseling components you mentioned.
It's no good unless I have all three. Otherwise, I'll lose track. Have you had your bumps read?
No, not nearly.
You bow your head before the old woman, and she proceeds to meticulously touch your scalp all over. She makes lots of little noises of surprise and confusion as she identifies the bumps and furrows of your cranium.
You're next, Mr. Eisenstadt.
Oh, that'd take you all night with me, Mum. I got a lot of bumps.
That's all right. I don't mind.
Can we do anything with this ledger? Now that the old woman has her ledger sitting out, you can not only see the scrolled details of the spell on Sasha, but her address as well. 1313 Resting Place. Oh, hey, we can go to Sasha's place. Interesting. So what was the third thing again?
You. Listen.
Can you describe this curse to me again?
Certainly I can. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was my first self-perpetuating curse. You could only cure it with tears.
Oh, right,
Without
the
emotion,
tears.
You couldn't cry. It doesn't make you lose your morals or your values or like that. You just maybe listen to your head instead of your heart. Forever. It's nice.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so we need to interact with Sasha if we want to get her tears, so... we need to go to her place. That means we take the driver there.
Master, Squire, what can I do for you then?
Lead on, Macduff.
1313 Resting Place.
Resting Lane. I'll have you there in 2 snaps of a tendon.
True to his word, he negotiates the narrow, twisted cobblestone streets and, 10 minutes later, pulls up in front of a very large, immaculate house on a tall hill. You and Piotr get out and knock on the door.
Yes?
Sasha, before you slam the door in my face, can you wait a moment?
You're looking a little better.
Thank you.
Please do come in. Ziv is not home from university yet, but I'm expecting him shortly. Mr. Stonebender, how lovely to see you again. Please do come in.
She leads the way in and softly closes the door behind you. Sasha nervously asks you if you're actually a werewolf. She remarks quietly that she has an allergy. You rub your hand hard on the thigh of your jeans, scraping off almost the entire pentagram, and display it to her.
It's one of those temporary things. I'm not really lupine.
She cocks her head and gives you an odd look, but she quite quickly suppresses it and leads you further inside. The house is spectacular if you like the feeling of living in a museum. The decor is impeccable, the furnishings are genuine classics, but as a home it's cold and unpleasant, with a heavy, musty smell and a general atmosphere of lifelessness.
Please follow me.
You and Pyotr accompany Sasha to a cavernous living room, and she gestures to a small divan with plastic slipcovers. You take up position, but you both wait.
Yes.
Nobody is quite sure what to say next.
Ziv is due back from university any moment now. I'm sure he'll be glad to see you.
That's a lie.
Please, Pyotr, let's not.
Not what?
I don't think you came here to bicker with me. Perhaps I'm wrong.
Pyotr thinks about this for a moment.
No, you're right. We're here to try to prove something.
Really?
Pyotr looks over to you. You swallow uncomfortably. Okay.
Mr. Stonebender?
This is a magnificent home.
Well, thank you. It's been in my husband's family for generations, as has my husband.
The slipcovers are an unusual choice.
The furniture is antique, and certain kinds of stains are nearly impossible to remove.
Sasha and Pyotr go back to their hushed reminiscences.
Mr.
Did you know I had to get a curse mark to get into Casimir's?
Jake, ixnay on the Urs Marquet.
It's quite all right, Pyotr. I don't mind discussing them. I wear mine proudly, even if it is predominant.
May I ask what it's for, or is that outside the bounds of propriety here?
Not at all. You know I'm a vampire, right?
Yeah, but that's not your
Sasha cuts Pyotr off with a glance.
Of course it is.
It was on your left.
You can't be expected to remember it after all this time. You're thinking of the small scar.
Pyotr gapes at Sasha, then turns to you and shakes his head. Sasha smoothly changes the subject and quietly asks Pyotr about America. Okay. Let's rifle through her stuff. This drawer looks perfectly ordinary.
Please, Mr. Stonebender, I have some personal items in those drawers that I'd rather keep private.
By the time she's finished speaking, you return to the divan and your ears are bright red. It's painted beautifully, but the subject, child with razor, is a little on the macabre side. You've already got some heart at home. This portrait would only be obscured by the brilliance of the poker-playing dogs on velvet carpeting. Move the portrait away from the wall. Behind it is more wall. No secrets there. This is either an original Maxfield Parrish or the original artwork for the White Rock Girl.
That's the White Rock Girl during the cream soda period. It has a great sentimental value to both Ziv and myself.
Whatever. Jake Stonebender, itinerant folk singer, art thief. I don't think so.
You lean your head against the wall for a moment, ostensibly because you're tired, but really because you want to look between the wall and the painting.
There's nothing back there, Mr. Stonebender.
Where? Oh, behind the painting? No, I was just resting. It's been a long day.
Would you care to lie down for a while?
No.
A beautiful portrait of Sasha is hung on the wall. Even though the painting looks very old, she still looks almost the same age today. Leave it where it's hung. It's an heirloom, which is sort of like a loom that doesn't exist, but you pretend to use it. Same idea as an air guitar. What? It just really wanted to make that wordplay, didn't they? Take a surreptitious glance behind the painting. You can just make out something protruding from the wall. Something like a nail. There's wires leading from the frame of the painting to the nail. In fact, the painting seems to be hung on the nail with the wire. That's about the most exciting thing you'll find behind any of these paintings. This may be a sign that these paintings don't actually have anything behind them. And some flowers. Big bowl of unusually dark roses sits in the center of the table. You don't need a bowl of roses. Even the old woman wouldn't give you squat for them. Smell. The roses reek of rot. Arrange. The only arrangement you'd find acceptable for these flowers is for them to be buried at the bottom of a salt mine and covered over with concrete. That's a little harsh. There's a single rose. A rose so deeply violet that it's nearly black lies on the tabletop. Thinking it might perk you up to carry a flower around, you rise from the divan to get a rose from the table, or, if you prefer, you arose from the divan to get a rise from the table. The blossom is sticky in places with webs of gelatinous goo threaded from petal to petal. In fact, it reminds you of your own flowers at home, which you allow to sit for weeks after they've died, until the water begins to crawl out of the vase. You replace the blossom on the table and wipe the putrescence from your hand as you sit back down. Since the divan has a plastic slipcover, you're tempted to wipe your hand off on that instead of your pants, but no, Sasha probably doesn't want these slipcovers to get dirty. Let's see, what else is around here? Vase. An urn sits on the sideboard. You've got more urns at home than you know what to do with. In fact, you don't know what to do with a single one of them. Fetid water has pooled in the bottom of the urn.
The roof has a leak.
Oh, I see. A large sideboard stands gathering dust. Instinctively, you draw a line through the dust with your finger. You hurriedly wipe off the entire surface with your shirt to erase your doodling. Moments later, you can see the dust start to settle again. A little dining room there. Oh, there's a bathroom, might be something in here. A commode. An old commode is visible through the bathroom door. Use.
No thanks, I took care of that while you weren't looking.
Bathroom mirror. The mirror is ludicrously dusty. That's understandable since it probably doesn't get much use. They're vampires. Oh, a hairbrush. An ornate hairbrush sits in the vanity in the lavatory. You excuse yourself and go into the lavatory, shutting the door behind you. Under cover of a flush of the commode and the running of water in the sink, you slip the hairbrush into your pocket, vowing to return it later. Hopefully you weren't vowing too loudly. The vanity. An ornate vanity with a rich patina stands in the lavatory. You've already procured the only item of interest from the vanity. Josephine the plumber has never looked more radiant. Can't take it. Can't move it. As if it's painted right into the background. Okay, there's the entrance. Okay. So she said she's allergic to werewolves, right? And we have her brush. I know there was a werewolf at that bar. What if we rub the brush on the werewolf? That seems like it will end well.
I'm staying here, Jake.
Fine.
And it is fine. If they're alone together, maybe they can work something out. It's certainly not going to happen with you here. You walk down the hall and out into the front courtyard where the driver awaits.
At your service, sir.
Back to town, please, Mr. Eisenstadt. Piotr is staying here.
Off we go, sir.
Whistling a funeral march, the driver heads back to town. Alright. Let's save here. I don't want to lose my progress again. I'm saving a little bit more often. Alright. Let's see, there was a werewolf in here before. Let's see where they are. Here they are. Brush the werewolf with the hairbrush. You love to see it. You run the brush a few times through the werewolf's coarse fur. The werewolf purrs softly, obviously enjoying the sensation. When you have a brushful of authentic werewolf dander, you stop. The werewolf grunts forlornly. Okay, if we return to Sasha with this, I bet something happens. Like, maybe we have to give it to her or something, but I'm betting something will happen. Okay. I remember where this tiny door is this time. There we go. So, let's go back.
At your service.
Sasha's, the 1313 address.
I'll hurry this along, sir. I'd like to get back downtown. I'm supposed to be meeting somebody in this person's transport.
She's having a reaction. You walk over to the divan where you sat before, next to Piotr. Sasha's face begins to quiver as if she's got a tick in one cheek. Then she sneezes a feathery little shoo. It makes you want to slap her around and insist that she get a real sneeze. Okay, well, she's gone now. We might be able to search this now. There's nothing obvious on or around the desk. You'll have to examine the drawers individually. Your search turns up only a lock. This lock prevents your search from being far more thorough. Let's see, are the other ones locked? Now that Sasha's up out of the room, you open the desk drawer. There's nothing in this particular drawer except dust and a few yellowed household papers. You shut the drawer again, being careful not to make any noise doing so. How about the other one? Same deal. Any other drawers here? Yeah, there's a couple on the bottom. Same deal, okay. We gotta look for a key. I wonder if there's anything where Sasha was sitting. You sit on the couch. As you do, you feel a little something pressing against your leg. You raise your thigh and find a small plain key. Oh, there we go. I bet I know what that goes to. Unlock the drawer with the key. Nice. You pull open the unlocked drawer. Inside is a small bundle of letters, something that looks like it used to be a flower, and a small vial with a couple of drops of clear fluid inside.
Piotr?
My letters. I can't believe she still has them.
What about these?
That flower. I'm not sure. I think I bought it for her on our first date. And the vial? Those are the tears from when she told me she was going to marry Ziv.
What a thing to say.
She used to be very romantic.
You nod your head. The ink is faded. You could probably read these if you tried, but in deference to Piotr and Sasha's privacy, and the fact that they're both still walking around, if not actually still alive, you squelch your curiosity. Oh, damn. It would have been fun to read. Tears. Drink from the vial of tears. It's a small old vial of tears. Maybe only one very salty tear by now. Drink from it. It'll just make you more thirsty. Oh. Okay, you take the vial, making sure that the top is tightly closed, which it already was. You slip it in your pocket. Anything else in here? I think that's it. Look, all the termites are wearing little capes. You slip the hairbrush into the drawer, then lock it back up. Then you put the key back in the couch. Perfect. Sasha will never know you've been messing with her deeply personal possessions. Although someday she'll sure wonder how that hairbrush got from the bathroom into a locked drawer. Okay. Alright. So we've got all 3 things we need here.
I'm going to stay.
I know. I'll see myself out.
At your service, sir.
Back to town, please, Mr. Eisen.
Off we... There
All right.
you are, sir.
Let's go back to the old woman. We've got everything we need here.
Oh, it's you. Listen, I'm beginning to think you're maybe not such a
Yeah, we've gone through that.
I have all the anti-curselant ingredients.
Well, give them to me. Every second counts.
Why? Is there a time limit?
Yes, Sally Jesse comes on in 5 minutes.
Okay. Hand this stuff over.
What are these?
Tears.
Okay, and
The anti-curselant. You don't remember?
I'm sorry, I can't keep it straight. 80 years ago, I remember like it was this morning. This morning, I remember like it was 80 years ago. What was it for? I need all 3, the Tanner, the Mako, and the Tears. So, you look thin. Have you had your tarot read lately? Or a card trick? You like card tricks?
No.
Oh,
No.
let me show you
Let
a
me
few.
show you a few. You strain to get away, but she seems to have you caught in some horrible vortex of card tricks that not even light itself can escape from. Over the next 10 minutes, you are asked to deal out the deck 4 times, memorize 6 different cards, count off 5 packets of various sizes, and politely refrain from commenting or visibly flinching at the bad slate of hand.
Now, let me get my little sponge rabbit friends.
While her concentration is momentarily turned elsewhere, you hurry yourself out of the vortex and break the spell. Slowly, the world returns to normal. Alright, now you give the Mako root.
Did I want a Mako root?
Yeah, remember? You just mentioned it a little while ago.
I'm sorry, I can't keep it straight. 80 years ago, I remember like it was this morning. This morning, I remember like it was 80
Oh no,
years
this
ago.
again.
What was it for? It's no good unless I have all 3, otherwise I'll lose track. Have you had your bumps read?
Yes, but thanks anyway.
Fine. I don't have to read your bumps, even though it would make me happy.
Sorry, I'm immune to your powers of guilt.
You puny mortal. You have no idea of what my powers can do. But that's all right. You think whatever you want to think, even if it cuts my heart out to hear it.
Okay. And finally, the Tana leaves.
Did I tell you to give me this?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
I'm sorry, I can't keep... Well, give them to me. Every second counts.
Why?
Yes, Sally Jess.
Alright, that's all of them.
Wonderful. Everything I need for the anti-curselant is right here.
She bends down and turns around and gives you a wink.
I'm gonna mix it up right here in the sink.
The sink. Alright, so we got the anti-cursulant. Looks like India ink. Smells like turpentine. Okay. So we gotta go back to Sasha's probably and get her to drink it. How are we gonna do that? We put it in coffee?
At your service, sir.
Sasha's.
I'll hurry this.
In your absence, Sasha's husband Zeev has returned. He, Sasha, and Pyotr are at the dinner table, making strained conversation, which tastes as good as it sounds.
Ziv, I'd like you to meet Jake Stonebender, Pyotr's friend from the United States.
You reach out to shake hands with Zeev, and Zeev prefers his own. His hand is cold and rock solid.
Nice to meet you.
The pleasure's mine.
Am I interrupting anything?
We were going to eat, but it seems I'm the only one with an appetite tonight. Sasha, how about some wine for our guests?
Sasha stands, but you hold your hand up.
Thanks anyway. I'm not having any right now.
Me either.
Just me again, I guess.
Zeev goes back to finishing his dinner, while Sasha waits for his next command. Pyotr seems furious and frustrated.
What is it?
May I speak with you privately for a moment?
I was just trying to get Pyotr to join us for dinner, but he doesn't seem to have an appetite.
Later, okay, Jake?
You try not to listen to the uncomfortable small talk they're making. Yeah, let's talk to this guy.
Yes, Mr. Stonebender.
I hear you're a professor at...
Brazov. Yes, I teach physics for jocks. Which reminds me, dear, call Ugo and tell him I'll need him to cover my Monday morning classes, won't you? I have a statement to make at the alumni meeting. I admit the work is not challenging, but the young athletes in Romania today, they have such a thirst for knowledge, such thick necks.
Must leave you time for research.
Yes, I publish frequently. An evil necessity, I'm afraid, but one which men in my position must take. Are you sure you're not hungry? Sasha could whip up something downstairs.
I think either of you is probably capable of whipping something downstairs.
Yes.
I'm told you're a longtime friend of Pyotr's.
Yes. Pyotr introduced me to Sasha. She was quite the prize.
He lifts his glass to Pyotr.
To Pyotr. Now that he's returned to Florescu, perhaps I can repay him the debt I owe him.
What, that 20 bani I loaned you? Forget it. If you haven't paid me back in 50 years, why pay me back now?
Hard to believe it's been 50 years.
More than 50.
Yes, Mr. Stonebender.
It's a nice little town you have here.
Thank you. It's far from Brazov, but it's worth the travel to be able to come home to a town that still has the old world charm. I'm usually only home for a few days each month.
Do you fly?
Gracious, no. No, not with all the recent downings and mid-air collisions and wind shear accidents. No, I prefer to ride in airplanes.
I knew that. I knew you were going to say something like that. It's this town.
Of course.
What else do you have to say?
Mr. Stonebender.
If you were a tree, what sort of tree would you be?
He'd be dead wood. We'd all be dead wood.
I could see myself as a baobab. It's a very robust tree. The Africans hollow them out and live inside of them while the tree goes right on living and growing.
What's your excuse?
Zeev looks into his wine.
And Pyotr would be a grapevine, the sour variety.
I'll clear the table.
Sour
Haven't
grapes.
finished yet, dear. Have a seat.
Sasha sits, and Zeev returns to tearing every last morsel of rare beef from the steak. He swallows without chewing, like a dog. It's as if the pleasure he derives is not at all from the flavor, but from the act of pulling the flesh off the bone with his teeth. You're reminded of your dogs playing poker picture. Zeev is the leader of the pack, feasting on the latest carcass and in complete domination, while Sasha submissively follows in the big dog's lead, and Pyotr frets quietly, having lost both the female and his share of the kill. Okay. What's up with Sasha?
This is a magnificent home.
Well, thank you. It's been in my husband's family for generations, as has my husband.
The slipcovers are an unusual choice.
The furniture is antique, and certain kinds of stains are nearly impossible to remove.
Aha.
Sasha and Pyotr go back to their hushed reminiscences.
Mr.
What else do you have
Stone,
to say?
I'm so sorry to hear about your allergies.
Thank you. It does make it difficult at some of the faculty parties. The animal husbandry department especially.
Are they acting up again?
Yes. The fur count must be high today. Mr.
Do you work outside of your home?
I could, but there's really no reason to. Ziv makes more than enough for the both of us.
Besides, the university keeps us very busy socially and politically. Sasha is always there for me, and often there when I'm not. Truly the perfect faculty wife. That's a compliment, dear.
I recognized it. Thank you.
I thought you wanted to go into archaeology.
Ziv's work is more important.
Physics for poets.
Jocks.
What?
Jocks.
That's all right, Sasha. Piotr simply doesn't understand. The classes are nothing. The research is what's important. The larger picture was never Piotr's forte.
Hey, do you guys have Pictionary? I've never played it, but I've been wanting to.
There follows a long, painfully uncomfortable silence during which everybody looks around to check everybody else's reaction to this obvious conversation stopper.
Sasha, do we have Pictionary?
I'm so sorry.
It's just a suggestion.
In the ensuing silence, it becomes clear that your inane request did not really break the tension at all, just substituted an angry tension for an embarrassed tension. Okay, so how do we get her to drink this? What happens if we just give it to her? I doubt this will work. Sasha either doesn't know about or is in denial of her own accursedness. Besides, that's not her beverage of choice. Oh, that's right. Vampires drink blood. And I can still offer blood to her. What if I drink it? You pop the lid off the vial, hold your nose, close your eyes, and take a drink. Then you dramatically fling the vial away and, legs akimbo, wipe the corner of your mouth with the back of your hand. God, you've never felt so alive. Okay, so what happens if I offer blood to her? You offer your wrist to Sasha in the traditional offer of compliance. Sasha gives you a faint smile and takes your wrist in her hands. She cranes her neck down as if about to eat corn on the cob, but instead she twists her head sideways and swiftly punctures your wrist. It stings for only a moment, and then, like a mosquito's bite, turns numb. The soft sucking sound she makes turns your stomach, but you only have to endure it for a moment. Then she straightens up, regards your wrist, and dabs with her tongue at the flecks of blood still pooling in the twin wounds.
Thank you.
You can see the moment that the anti-cursulant first hits her. Ah, it worked. Her back straightens, and her face reflects first confusion, then understanding, and then rage. She gapes wordlessly at Zeev for a few moments.
What? What's the matter? Sasha, control yourself.
Sasha looks for a moment as if she's going to scream at Zeev, but instead she draws her hand back and slaps him across the face very, very hard. 0 to 100 there. Zeev, without hesitation, slams his fist into Sasha's face, and you think you hear a crunch. Piotr is already in motion, but not fast enough to protect Sasha from Zeev's punch. As Sasha crumples to the ground, Zeev grabs Piotr by the neck and throws him onto the table. Zeev wraps his hands around Piotr's neck and pulls. It's as if he's not trying to choke Piotr, but trying to actually separate Piotr's head from his body. Piotr keeps struggling, and Zeev keeps trying to press his advantage. Wait, what's this? The steak bone? Zeev has picked this T-bone queen. You daringly crawl on your belly to the dining room table and snatch the fallen steak bone from the floor. Piotr is weakening. He's got his hands full trying to keep Pyotr from keeping Zeev from pulling Pyotr's head off, if you can follow that.
Can't you stop him?
He's too strong.
Fight him hard.
He bites back harder.
Is there some kind of high-pitched vampire scream?
No.
Where's your cross?
Yeah, we keep those around the house.
Throw some holy water on him.
He's not possessed by Satan. He's just a vampire.
Throw garlic at him.
I didn't get to the store today.
Burn him with a torch.
Thanks to Pyotr, there's nowhere to even get torches around here anymore.
Pick him up and toss him across the room like a rag doll.
I don't have superpowers under your yellow sun.
Turn into a bat and fly into his hair.
That's a myth. Bats don't really get tangled up in your hair.
Call the creatures of the night to do your bidding.
You have to be a member.
Shoot him with a silver bullet.
Good thing you're not really a werewolf. You wouldn't last a minute.
Push him to the window so the sunlight hits him.
You see any windows around here?
Hypnotize him.
He needs to be in a much more receptive frame of mind than when he's murdering people.
Claw his eyes out.
The dining room chairs aren't slip-covered.
Fight him hard.
He bites back harder.
Okay.
Not being much help.
Hey, if you have any suggestions, I'd be happy to hear them.
What if we give her this? Will she be able to use it? Sasha, you reason, being a vampire, might have a better chance at this than you do. You crouch by her and press the steak bone into her hands. She bites her lower lip, puncturing it hard, and gets to her feet.
Why?
Figure it out, Professor. That's what I did.
That's one dead vampire.
Meat is bad for your heart, baby.
Pyotr, are you okay?
Sure. I'm not strong, but I'm wiry.
Pyotr?
Sasha, would you come with me?
Oh, Pyotr, I can't. I mean it.
Excuse me, I'll be outside.
You kick around outside the house for a while, talking to the trap driver about everything except vampires, mummies, werewolves, and B-movies. Pyotr comes out after a while, alone. The two of you climb into the thing. On the way, Pyotr doesn't say anything, but the two of you know that he can tell you anything when he's ready, and you'll be ready to listen. Early the next evening, Pyotr asks you if you're ready to go back to...
You coming with?
Guess so.
So, the two of us.
She says she doesn't know herself. Hasn't been herself in 50 years. Wants to learn to fly again, she says. Spend some time alone. You know.
It's a chick trip.
Yeah, I know. But I was hoping...
Hey, you got your whole life ahead of you.
No. My whole life is behind me. My whole death is in front of me.
Pyotr packs a few things and has a brief conversation with Chives behind closed doors. When he comes out, he joins you.
Snacks for the trip home?
We can if you want, but we'll be home in a few minutes.
Explain.
Didn't you see the time machine?
Yeah, but it wasn't working.
Did you plug it in?
I didn't think of it.
You're gonna love this.
You arrive at Werewolf's and follow Pyotr inside. He kneels down behind the time machine and plugs it in. Then he slips a coin into the slot.
Come on, Jake. Attaboy.
Why not?
Pyotr sets the controls for his house, where you left your truck, and on the same evening you stowed away. When he pushes the button, the time machine rocks in place for a couple of minutes, laboring under the weight of two adults and not going anywhere. Pyotr whacks the side of the machine, and a split second later, you're sitting in Pyotr's driveway. The two of you climb into your truck and drive the few blocks back to Callahan's. Oh yes, you've also returned all of Pyotr's magic tricks to him, along with Star Boucheret's shock, and you've even put a brand new old coat hanger in your truck.
20 minutes. Jake, see, I knew you were something of a private dick. That's why I knew you were the man for the job. Pyotr, good to see you. Everything okay at home?
I think so.
Good. A drink?
Ginger ale.
You got it.
Okay. So we finished another story at the bar here. And I think this is a good time to end things for today. It was a nice little short stream today. I kind of want to do more of that sort of thing, like just get through something that makes, like, end a stream at a point where it makes sense, and even if it's kind of short, and do more of them. So this will be it for today, but I might be back tomorrow depending on how my scheduling works out. I'm kind of in a rough spot as far as scheduling things goes, so we will attempt to do something tomorrow. We might continue this, or we might do a little Final Fantasy XIV before it goes down for the Endwalker Early Access. But in either case, I'm gonna try to be back tomorrow. So thank you all for being here, and it's been gay. Goodbye.